39. Flip to page 39. Once you get to page 39, you can cross off the problems we're not having to do, so you don't have to do, I think it's 17, 19, and 20. There are 3 problems on the page you don't have to do, and they're at the very end. I think it's 17, 19, and 20. 39. 39. Okay, so we've got page 39, we're doing everything 1 through 16 and 18. So we're not doing 17, 19, 20. That's your main thing today. As soon as we go to the math workshop, we want to work on that. We also have that checkpoint from 2 days ago. When the sub was here, that we hadn't gone back over or checked or whatever, and I don't have everybody's. So we've got to finish that and wrap that up too. Thank you for saying that. You can have a point for that. And then last but not least, people who never came 0 period and still never finished their blue test, they're going to finish them today. The reason they're going to finish them today is because as of next week, we're going to learn a cool new calculator trick on how to solve systems with our calculator. So what's the point in a systems test after you learn how to use them on a calculator? So you got to get it wrapped up. And I love you dearly, but I know myself. And so once I finally get all these bad boys graded and I type them in now, when I get to a blank spot, I type in a 0. So unless you enjoy the 0 and the 6% to remind you to come get this thing done, you're going to finish it today as well. So if you're not one of the blue testers and you've already handled all that, then seriously, you also have no homework this weekend because you can totally get through that workbook page and through the checkpoint pretty quickly. But I say that, and we're on activity schedule, and I keep forgetting that. So hopefully you can. Okay, I'm needing lots of help with my math workshop this morning. But before we even start, let me go ahead and tell you, you picked a new math workshop up on your way in. We're still behind. We're still trying to get caught up. So you need to, if you're trying to give your group some points, have 1 through 8 done by Monday. If you're trying to get your group some points, have the factoring problems done by Monday. That's 1 through 8. Okay. Drea, you already had your hand up for this one. What do you want to do first, ma'am? The one with the computer would be fine, I'm curious. Notice it's there. You want to do what, ma'am? I know, but what do you want to do on number 5? Which is what? And you can have 2 points, because all day long, when I've called on someone, they have said grouping first when there is a GCF. So you should pull out an x first, and you'd be left with 12x to the 4th minus 18x squared minus 3x plus 1. Okay, so I get to here. Now what should I do? Pull out 3. 3 doesn't go into everybody. How many terms are there? So we're going to do, okay, table 2 said it the best. Grouping. So I think I'm going to pull out a 6x squared. So I'm left with a 2x squared and a 3. I don't know who it is, but it's so bad I hear you. Bless you. Thank you. And then, but what can I do with the second term? What can I pull out? I heard nothing. What if I'm determined to pull out something? Well, there is one thing I could technically pull out. I pull out a negative, and then it would be 3x minus 1. But why am I doing that? I don't know. Do our terms match? No, so we failed, and you actually can't factor this one. In fact, all we could do was what Drea said at the beginning, which was pull out a GCF, which technically is something. So we're not going to say not possible, because we did pull out an x. But yeah, that one didn't work with grouping. So sometimes they fail, and it's not your fault. They just literally fail. Okay, you want to help with the next one, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
4x minus 2y.
Say it again.
4x minus 2y next plus 1.
Oh, you've already solved. Okay, perfect. So she did grouping, and you can have a point for that. She pulled out a 4x. She was left with an x plus 5. She pulled out a negative 3y. She was left with an x plus 5. So that's why she said 4x minus 3y, x plus 5. She went straight to the answer. Bless her. That was good. Okay, and then my favorite one of the day is number 7 because the leading coefficient is... What's the leading coefficient? Is 1. She can have a point for that. So it's an easy factor. I need two things that add to give me negative 16 and multiply to give me a positive 64, and we'll let table 3 because I haven't gotten to talk today. It is 8 and 8 because it's negative 8, give you negative 16. 8 times 8 is 64. But there is a better way to write this. You can have a point for that too. And you can have another point for that. So we want to do 2 minus 8, but the whole thing squared. That would be better. The best way to write that. Then we get to number 8. It is a perfect square, and you can have a point for that. And solve it, Abby Grace, and get you another point.
It's u plus 12, u minus 12.
Negative u plus 12, u plus 12.
Now, you're still going to get the same thing when you FOIL it out. But I was trying to do it in the exact order it was given. And they did the 144 first, so I did 12 first. You're still going to get the right answer. Okay, here's another easy point. If I'm questioning my sanity, how can I check myself? FOIL. Get a point for that. So if I FOIL this out, 144 minus 12u plus 12u, the outer and inner cancel out, minus u squared. So yes, that would work. That was fun. Now we get to the not so fun one. Go down to the very bottom of the page, number 14.
Oh.
What was the O for? Yeah. We're going to do this last one and be done with this page. Finally, we'll be closer to being back on track. So let's start off. It says there is a cone with a diameter of 6. If the diameter is 6, what does that make the radius?
3.
He said it first, get a point, and that's why they've already labeled the radius of 3. And it has a height of 5, so the entire height of this cone is 5. And it's sitting with the vertex. Sitting with the vertex up is to be partially filled with water through an opening at the vertex. Okay, that's a fancy way of saying they went to the water machine, they had their little cone, they filled it up with water, but you and I both know you can't fill it all the way to the top or water's going to pour out everywhere because the cones don't hold that much. And they say, what is the volume of the water in the cone in terms of the height of the water? And that's where the problem gets annoying. Because if they just said, what is the volume of the cone, it'd be a simple plug and chug. We know the radius, we know the height. If we knew the volume formula, we plug it in, get a number out, done. But that's not what they said. They don't want to know the volume of the whole cone. They want to know the volume of the tiny cone that's filled with water. Let me say that again. They don't want the volume of the whole thing. They just want the part filled with water. So this problem stinks because, 1, you have to recall some random volume formula. 2, we're going to do a little bit of geometry. And then 3, we're going to throw in a little bit algebra 2 trig. So if you're not good at geometry and algebra 2 trig, you're going to be stumped on this problem. That's what stinks. But it's kind of smart of them. They're testing 2 skills at once. Okay, so first things first, what is the formula for the volume of a cone? There's a pi in it. I'll give you that. There's a pi r squared. There's an h, but there's a number in front. It's not the 2, it's the 1/3. Yeah, this is the 1/3 pi r squared h, or maybe your teacher did pi r squared h divided by 3. Now, if your math teacher was nice, like I was last year, when it came to volume formulas, I handed them a cute little laminated sheet, say, hey, you can use this all the time, and Eric always had it to reference, which was awesome then, and now it's not so awesome, because Eric faces the reality. Miss Compton didn't actually do me a favor, because on the ACT, they think I should know that. They think I should just know those kind of formulas off the top of my head. Hopefully, so, you know, A, B, C, D, E, the 5 answer choices. Hopefully you're able to eliminate 1 because they've left off, like, the pi. And hopefully you realize there's a circle base, so there needs to be a pi in the formula. So you're already down to 4 options instead of 5. So that's good. How to actually solve is we're going to set up something with similar triangles. I'm going to draw a little tiny picture to the side because I feel like I already colored that one too much. So we have this giant triangle, and it has a base of 3, it has a height of 5, and I really tried to put that height on the slanted height of the cone because I was determined for it to be a triple. What triple did I want it to be?
4.
I wanted it to, you can have a point, I wanted it to be a 3, 4, 5. Come on, man, your teacher made you memorize all the triples for a reason. Okay, so I wanted it to be a 3, 4, 5, but it's not because 5 is not in the right spot. If it was a triple, where would the 5 be? On what part of the triangle? On the hypotenuse. Get another point. But it's not on the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is crossing that 90-degree angle. There's nothing over there, so it's not a 3, 4, 5. So darn it, I tried to make it an easy problem, and it's not. Instead, we've got to focus on the fact that there is a tiny triangle filled with water. And what's nice about the picture is they filled in some of the parts for you. And they told you to put an R there, and they told you to put a 5 minus h here. So that was nice. So what we're going to do is set up a proportion with the pink triangle and the tiny blue triangle. Because they're supposed to be similar because they're both right triangles in the same shape, so they should be similar, so we can set up a proportion. So let's say maybe I do the baby triangle in the numerator. So R, 5 minus h in the numerator. And I'll do 3 and 5 in the denominator. So I did the 2 radiuses in one fraction, the 2 heights in the other fraction. If you had to do this in geometry, it's been that long. From here you would cross multiply, and you would get 5r equals 3 times 5 minus h. And if we wanted to distribute, we could. So we would have 5r equals 15 minus 3h. And then that's great, Miss Compton. Good for you. Good for you. But what do we do with that? That's lovely. I don't know what to do with that. You can have a point. In fact, I'll give you all the points. How many? You can have 3 points. First person all day who's followed the train of reasoning. Okay. I'm glad you're able to, infer things. That's great. The rest of us got to get there. So let's go back to the problem, because this is great, Miss Thompson, but I don't know what to do with this. So we look at the problem, and the very last sentence says, what is the volume of the water in the cone in terms of the height of the water? So what they're wanting is they still want a volume formula, but they don't want both variables. Which variable do they want to disappear? And why do you know the R is the one that should go away? Because it says in terms of the height. So R has got to go. And how can we get R to go away? Oh, that's easy. We can divide by 5. And we'll have R equals 3 minus 3/5 h. And that part does suck. The fraction part does. I'm not going to lie. But the good news is we spent a lot of time at Algebra 2 with Trig lately on substitution. So everywhere in my original volume formula that I have in R, instead I can put this weirdo thing with only h's. So we are going to use substitution. So instead of it being 1/3 pi r squared, my new r squared is 3 minus 3/5 h. Which is perfect. haven't done it on purpose. It's intentional.
You also need to plug in that H. R squared H.
It is R squared H. It is R squared H, and I haven't put an H. And I'm not going to put just an H, because that would be wrong. Because they're wanting the volume of the tiny cone. What was the height of the tiny cone? 5 minus H. So one answer choice is going to be some crazy junk with an H. And one answer choice is going to be the crazy junk with a 5 minus H. And if you paid attention to the smaller triangle had a height of 5 minus H, it's supposed to be 5 minus H. Back to reality. Do I genuinely think you're going to get this kind of a problem on the ACT? I pray no, because it takes us too long to reason through it. But if so, we got some common sense skills of I know there should be a pi in the formula, so that should knock out one of them. And then we've got a little bit of common sense skills of like, they're going to have some crazy junk. So I know there's at least one more or two more you can eliminate just because they look ridiculous. So hopefully, you're down to 2 and it's a 50-50. But regardless, you don't have to get every question perfectly right on the ACT in order to get a good score. You got to get a majority of them, but not every single one. So the second you see one that's wanting to do volume and it's got a lot of variables going on, you might want to say, pass this time, maybe when I come back around to it if I have enough time. Why we decided this would be a fun one for a Friday, I don't know. I don't make the workshops. I just do what I'm told. Okay, before I let you go and work on your stuff, turn on your calculator. I got to show you one more cool thing before you go crazy today, typing all the things in your calculator.
Will you know if I have to do like both matrices like that A times B and stuff like that?
I can. Have you already typed stuff in for the matrix?
Yes, I already done A and B. I don't know how to do like what like together.
You just hand me your calculator. Hit enter for A. Now you have A. Do it again. Hit enter. Go down to B. Hit enter for B. And now you make them all. Enter again. Okay, so let's talk about one tiny thing that you need to know how to do. And I don't have to do it on this calculator. So someone who's turned on their calculator, gone to the matrices, and there's already junk typed in, I need to borrow yours. Someone who got a calculator and has junk already typed in and they want it gone. Hand it yes. Okay, so let's talk about how to clear the stuff off. Because you're the third period in a row that's doing matrices. And to be honest, you really don't want to stare at their other matrices. You want their matrices to go away. So let's talk about how to do that. And P.S., if you happen to find that someone else has been doing all the work for you, if you think I'm not going to personally clear them off before each test, I am. So if you think, oh, my second period friend typed them all in so I don't have to, that's funny. Okay. We've talked about second matrix and how to type them in. Now let's talk about how to delete them, because it actually does take a second. So if you'll press second and then the plus button, because that's where memory is. That's where you go if you're wanting to clear off anything on your calculator. So if you're like me and I just don't care because these are communal calculators and if they really gave a rip, they should have bought their own. I would just press reset and reset all the things. But if you press reset, anything you've stored in like y equals or anything else you've stored on there is now gone. So it's fine with me. I don't care. My stat babies are going to cry, but they cry anyway. It's just part of AP stats. I don't know why. They're just crybabies today. They had a vocab test. They'll get over it. Okay. So if you're trying to be a sweetheart, though, and you literally only want to clear off the matrices, if you'll go to the second thing down, it says Memory Management, and press Enter. I see Matrix as an option. So I go to Matrix, and then if I have any matrices typed in, I can press Delete, and he doesn't have any typed in. Does anyone have any typed in right here? Yeah. All the things. Pass that to Eric. Okay. So let's say Abby Grace doesn't want these anymore, or it's someone else's and she's trying to get rid of them. Since it's her own personal calculator, maybe she wants to always leave it this way. If she wants to kill them, press Delete. Delete. A's gone, B's gone, C's gone, D's gone. Now they're all clear. And it just makes your life easier because now it's clean to begin with. But if you don't do it, just know come test day, I'm going to do it for you. So again, if you go to second memory management, there's an option that says matrix. And you can clear it out. Or if you really just don't care, because I really don't care if you clear off the whole calculator. So second memory and just reset that bad boy like resetting your phone. They should have stored it on their own. Okay, I'll let you work on all the things, but I did want to show you that in case other people's junk was getting on your nerves. Because I know it would be getting on mine.